And we are back and live with another weekly Mojo. It has been nearly 2 months since we were last on. This is your host, Madison Jessica. It's June 5th, for clarity's sake. The last time we were on was April 18th.
Yeah, I saw that. So not quite 2 months, but it has definitely been too long. We missed y'all.
There's been a lot of travel. We've been kind of all over the place. So we've got reasons to, I guess, be MIA, so to speak.
Yeah, that's a way to put it. MIA, reasons to celebrate. We wanted to shoot this originally on the 9th when I was actually out in San Francisco, and then I saw this fucking journey that this bad bitch took, and just
Decided
not
to take one of
jump
your
right
own.
into it, but damn, oh yeah, and then like 3 days later, we went across seas on the other side of the continent and enjoyed a lot of Greece thanks to my youngest sister who graduated
On the other side of the globe, you mean?
high school. Yeah, what did I say?
Continent. You
Yeah,
said
I
you
think
went
it's
from San
well.
Francisco to the other side of the continent, which would be New York, which you did do something to that effect
I did the
before.
reverse of that.
Yeah,
I
so
was
you
in
did, which is
Connecticut to
probably
San
why it was on
Francisco.
your mind.
That also, but I think here's the larger thing: is it's just one just giant ball of rock that is laid like this. So I think it's the same thing, but yes, for the truth of it, it is basically like I know there are separate continents. That being said, we fucking had the time of our lives in Greece for a nice 9 days ish. Oh man, and jump basically as soon as you get used to the fucking time change, which is like usually an hour per day. We were ready to go back home, and it was nice to be back home.
I feel like
McDonald's.
we made the time change in a single day.
We definitely okay. So like the only way to do this is you can't push your body too hard. You can't go straight into something. Like we had a whole day, just like 14 hours by the time we finally took the third flight into
Yeah, we
Milos.
traveled for fucking ever. It was more than 24 hours. Then personally, I just like slept for like
Yeah.
a day. Like it was probably less than a day, but just barely. And then we got on with life, and I felt like we were on a pretty normal rhythm after that.
We like it all worked out really well because Milos is a smaller island and you just wanted to hang out on the beach anyway. So by the time we were ready to, it was like we got to explore some of the coolest beaches I've ever seen. Had some incredible food along the
Went
way,
cliff
and then
diving. Yeah, that was cool.
yeah, dude, still so jealous.
Yeah.
What a blast though. And then basically by that point in time, it was ready to either fly back to Athens to go back to Paros, or we took the boat, and we took the boat.
Yeah.
How'd you fare?
You already know the answer. This is a leading question. The sea patch that I took probably helped, but the hangover I had didn't. And like you described earlier, the inconsistency in a handful of those waves might have got me, especially after I downed that monster. So
Destiny didn't help, that's for sure.
no, I was trying to get myself up and through it, and then at the end, I was like, "Wow, let me just like rest my head on this seat in front of me, keep my eyes closed, and hope and pray that I don't actually like vomit for real before I can get off this thing." And it was like a nice boat. I liked it. It was a giant catamaran. It was really nice inside. It was like a
Yeah.
like a somewhere between an
It was a ferry.
airplane. Yeah, it was a ferry, but like it had a good concierge bar thing in the back and like dance floor or dance hall floors.
Ooh, so like what the airplanes used to be back in the 70s.
Yeah, maybe.
I didn't travel back any further other than like getting our
It
bags.
was not a dance floor. It was for sure like just a little waiting standing area by the bar.
Mm-hmm.
But like you couldn't see out the front of the boat. They had that all closed off. So like there's no real reason to sit in the front half of the boat anyways.
I was enjoying I think it was either Travel Channel's Discovery. Like, I don't know.
The
It was
TV
something
that
in
kept
Greece.
coming in and out of focus and connection.
Yeah.
Yes,
That.
we were blasting through a bunch of these islands.
I tried
and
to learn some Greek, and it was
Southeast
there's no
Aegean.
reading Greek. You have to. It's wow. I'm so thankful that they know English enough for me to get through because they really made it so easy for me. And wow, I can understand the privilege there.
Yeah,
You hear the privilege.
Yeah.
We were very fortunate to meet like some of the coolest people.
I was like, what do you
incredible hospitality?
What do you even
Holy
call
shit.
Greek script? That's what you just call it because it's like somewhere like between Russian
probably,
Cyrillic
yeah,
and like
very,
Nordic
like,
runes or Egyptian. It's all Greek to me, man.
Dude, it was wild. To be able to read the story of Mary Magdalene at the same time of her being like of Greek origin, writing mostly in Greek, wild. And then to share that with my youngest sister was fucking cool.
That's where the book ended up?
No, I have the original because that's Christina's, and thank you. God bless that queen because I've already sent other
Congratulations to her.
Hell yeah. So happy to have you in KC, selfishly. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how much we can talk about it.
No, I'm just leaving it there. We don't have to share more than that.
But very, very cool. Always enjoying growing our crew here in KC. God, we got to do our volleyball team.
Yeah.
That would be a fun addition.
Yeah, I feel like
we'll be in touch.
Yeah. We need more members. They're probably game to play.
For sure. Josie just loved the book, so I basically sent her a copy, and then I was like, shit, I should definitely send this to a certain someone at Lutheran High just to see what his thoughts are. So then I had to like go down the daisy chain of catching up with his sister for a hot second. So shout out to Morgan Sunderman or Patterfield. I'm gonna have to figure that one out.
He changed his name?
No, she changed her name, but I know her as Morgan Sunderman because it's just the Sunder fam.
Oh, because you went through her to get info about her brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was where.
That's the long story short. Is Preston should be the theology director at Lutheran High, so that's my like selfish plug.
Yeah, that's why you
the like 2 people that listen.
That's why you forced heretical literature down his throat. You're like, here, take this.
I didn't force it. I was just like, hey, I enjoyed this read. Josie really enjoyed this read. There's got to be more than this very masochistic,
context of what you're asking him, though.
Male perspective. He's a big boy. He can figure it out himself. Sorry, I'm not trying to scare you.
I know, but I'm just like, it's funny. I'm like.
This is the context.
Yeah.
It's like the same time that I was like saying.
Like it's a banned book of the religion for a reason. You're sending this to the theology person. You're like,
why?
Hey,
I didn't understand why Ozzy Osbourne wasn't
book.
a fun like song to listen to because Crazy Train's great. You know
That's
what I
just
mean?
like a non sequitur, but
I know it's the same shit though.
No.
Well, varying degrees. Agree to disagree.
I think the church has like 1,000 to 2,000 year long history with one and not with the other. But
I think that's the spectrum is vast.
Sure.
Are we ready to talk about this bad bitch? I mean, wait.
This is a talk show where we talk about everything and whatever, and we will give Hans Gruber her spotlight.
Amy Appelhans Gubser, and I'm hoping I'm saying that correctly because
I knew you would correct me.
This bad bitch came across my purview only because some dumb fuck ass basically was like insecure about his height and weight and only used her height and weight to describe this heroic journey.
Yeah, I'm thrilled
that this 55-year-old like badass woman took. I saw this shit is no joke. You think it was to Alcatraz? It's not.
Yeah,
It's like all the way fucking out here. And she basically got stung a whole bunch of times. It's a 30-mile journey in open water in the Pacific Bay. In 43-degree water.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm excited to talk about it. Like, I mean, I hate open water swims for lots of reasons, and that one's way scarier than anyone I've ever done, and way longer. And I can't imagine the training that had to go into it. But like at the same time, I can't remember her name. I mean,
Amy Appelhans Gubser.
Right, without confusing it with Hans Gruber, just because it sounds so much there at the end. And I mean it not from any other standpoint than the German fucking ass name that it is.
For sure. for sure.
And I just, get excited when I talk. So, sorry about the audibility of this. But we will dive into this. The show is 40 minutes long. It's like we don't need to rush into the story. I want to show off the NFT collection that's fully live again. That's yours.
Okay, cool. Alright.
So that we can then talk about how you can collect and mint this at the end of the episode, because that's ultimately why, not why we do this, but how we hope to fund doing this. If anyone out there wants to support this form of art and commentary around the art, which is educational and entertaining, then you know how to support us. We're selling NFTs, and if you help us get that going, there's going to be more benefits to owning those NFTs in the future, because we have so many things planned, from posters to a educational children's book.
Or two.
We've got merch already available. This is print on demand. We'll be truthful, but look at the quality. We're very happy with how these came out, and you have to start somewhere as a content creator. It isn't something that is immediately accessible to all people. I have no idea. I think our screen fully went black here.
Which is wild, and the time kind of changed. But hey, that's good energy.
No, this is.
Yeah, that's on yours.
There we
Cool.
go.
Wild.
All right, I think we're back.
I don't know if we were, how long we were gone, but hey, we're happy to be here.
All right, so back to shilling.
Yeah, I mean, very excited about the work that we've put out. I love doing my art, and the ability to represent myself in a
We have the stickers too.
fashion that is accessible to all is all I really want in this world, because I love supporting local artists as well. And sometimes I can't bear to pay for the large canvas, but I do want to keep pieces of their merch and versions of stickers. I really like stickers. I mean, come on. We grew up with Lisa Frank bitches. Very nice. Another little Detroit baddie I feel like we should probably cover, because she's got a crazy ass story.
Who?
Lisa Frank.
Oh yeah, she's from like Birmingham or Bloomfield Hills or something, right?
Right. I knew
Franklin.
She was
I think she's from Franklin, Michigan.
That's crazy.
But maybe I'm making that up because her name's Frank.
Tool. It's wild. Wild stories, y'all. There's plenty of people that have already covered it, but
yeah. So here we'll take you to our website now. Again, not sure if you heard, but the best way to support us is by purchasing these things. And you
support
should
the things that you like.
Yeah, you should likely be able
Send it to your friends.
Earn some extra stuff if you own it. As we have a lot more planned for this, as we have continued to try to say, though, while being, I feel like this is backwards. Yeah, that's.
It's a bit of an adjustment coming back into the swing of things, it feels like, and that's okay. We're doing our best.
Yeah. I'm like, what is the correct layout? None of these look good, so this one maybe? Oh yeah, this one's pretty close, I feel like, to what we normally do.
Yeah, and then I think it like slides up maybe, or
yeah. We'll edit this one. You guys get to enjoy real time. I love the screenception of it all.
So Miss Amy Applehans Gubzer comes to us because handle on, I assume that's Instagram, but could be Twitter, Pit Desi, which Pit of fucking despair. I'm not even going to give him a name shout out. He just said last week 55-year-old X-Pound grandmother was the first to swim from the Golden Gate Bridge to the Farallon Islands, which was a 30-mile journey, and she swam in 43-degree water, and it took around 17 hours, and she was stung by jellyfish by around 20 times. And the fact that all of that was included without considering, he did say, consider the toughest marathon swim in the world. This fucking, like, gorgeous woman, Gina, oh gosh, you're gonna have to figure out that last name. I'm sorry, Queen. Basically came in and gave us the name of this bad bitch, Miss Amy Applehans Gubzer. And she called out the fact that she's like, I think it's interesting that you include her weight, but not her name. So that's what a fascinating choice.
Yeah, it was
Tell
rude.
me what you're insecure about. But what a bad bitch. 17-hour journey. Look at this distance. We got to pull this shit up. Like, that's no joke.
29 miles. Open water. Oof. I mean, that's more than a marathon on land in open water. And just for clarity, like most open water swims, I think mile, 2 miles, like at most. I'm like, what is I think the Ironman's only two.
One.
No, the Ironman's the triathlon. I think their open water swim is only 2 miles.
That's wild.
Right. I mean, you got 100 miles of biking and you run a full marathon.
Oh my God.
You know, like you're getting your miles.
We should actually look that up though, and we should talk to Nick and Ivy and see how they're up to or what they're up to.
Well, yeah, you know, we know what they're up to. We're very aware of what they're up to. But anyways, well, yeah, they have a celebration this weekend, so
we'll see if we can make it.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to, but I wish them the best, and I'm glad we were able to make the last celebrate. Yeah.
Make the most of every time we see everybody. Or try to anyway. This is like no fucking joke of a journey.
What is the breakdown of an Iron Man? Okay.
All right.
But over here, wanted to finish what we're looking at.
Hell yeah.
We got some new recipes up on the site. So you can check out what we love to make. One of my favorites I'm going to pull up here is the Tropical Orange Julius movie.
So long. I know.
Right. And then you can, of course, like I said, support us through the merch shop, which we have some provocative, amazing merch that you'll love to collect. Though this one we just showed off. And then I wanted to check something. There's my account, but here's Madison Jessica. Let's see if Ooh, wait, no, let me see. I don't have the time period set right here. I was so excited, but I'm hoping it's still.
I was like, there's movement, so that was more than I was anticipating.
Yeah. Let's see. I want traffic acquisition by source. We got direct, we got Facebook, we got Instagram. So you're doing something to drive people here. The most engaged people, which there's not really engaged people, but coming from Instagram.
That tracks. That's the only place I live on. Doom scrolling. I wish oh my God, I wish I could diversify, but ultimately,
most people
I think we kind of get locked into.
Most people spend time on the art page. Someone has spent time on the shop though.
Cool.
So.
Anyway, gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
It's fun to see engagement in any capacity.
Right, was hoping that some of these recipes started to get some traction. So.
What did I do for the perfect foolproof scrambled eggs? Because I was like, if I didn't include cottage cheese in there, then that needs an update.
I don't think you did.
Definitely definitely need to. Yeah, deer summer sausage. Funny as fuck.
Got a recipe adjustment coming, it sounds like.
Yeah. Boy,
But we got so many options.
for sure.
And show off that Alice in Blunderland sticker one more time since the ad came up for it.
Alrighty.
Yeah, there it is.
You wanna ask?
Oh,
I also have
was
that
excited. Sorry,
shirt
I'm
in
asking, but like, yeah. Here, we'll flip back to
I think the
full screen for a second.
t-shirt version. There she goes in her matte beauty. Love it.
Alrighty.
My favorite.
Yes.
And she's preaching to the choir at this point.
Don't tread on us.
Oh my goodness. All right. Claude, what do we have for Miss Amy Applehound? Good, sir.
All right. Well, coming back full circle, swimming 2.4 miles for clarity.
Oh,
So-
holy fucking shit. When she swam 30 mile.
Right. That's why I was saying that really is like crazy impressive. Like,
It was no joke. It was so far out when I was, because this was a very long drive and I was expecting it to be basically Alcatraz in the center. And lo and fucking behold, it was very much not. I just was so aghast at how far she had traveled. Shout out to all our San Francisco peeps out there. That was crazy. Tell me you know about this bad bitch, you know? Fucking crazy. AAG.
Motor City, Mile, Detroit, River.
I said Claude and her story, but yeah.
Yeah, I wanted
You're
to.
like, what did I travel?
Yeah, because I used to have that, but 7th annual event. I think it did it get canceled and then put on by a new group. Yeah, 16th annual back in 2015. So it got something happened to it at some point.
Shouldn't deter us from seeing the distance.
Oh, it's a mile.
Oh, okay.
That was the one I was
Interesting.
looking for. They used to have my record on there so I could like reference it. But it's one of those things about the internet is it's not actually permanent or forever like the blockchain.
Gotta take those JPEG snapshots while you can. Put it on your blog. But sometimes your shit gets taken down too by hackers. That was a fun little workaround that we had to do at some point.
Yeah, well,
You want
so
some more blocks?
Internet Archive is
God bless it.
yeah, it has a lot of stuff that helps say if this doesn't touch anything.
I'm not done.
Okay. I was just like, wow.
Is that
I mean,
that's sufficient?
no, it still touches like nothing. I need like one or two more. There we go.
Oh my god.
And
What
there
a
it goes.
fucking show, man.
Yeah, so you can tell we've been off air for nearly 2 months since the camera's now down. This is a disaster.
No, this is
No, it's
how
not
it goes.
fun. What is this for?
To put underneath
It
there.
needs to be like 5
Way
times
more?
thicker than that. Yes, that works.
Didn't think it was that much bigger.
Thank you.
What a fucking day. Did we lose? No, we didn't lose. We just are on
We
a
need
different
to-
screen.
Yeah, we just need to.
All right.
There we go. It's kind of positioned
We're
better now. We
back.
should straighten the literal camera.
Holy shit skis, man. What in the fuckery is this? No. No, that works. Holy shit, we're only 25 minutes into this. I'm dead.
Okay.
This is too funny.
What is her name again? Amy Hans Gruber.
Amy Apple, Appel, Hans L one word, and then Gubser. Gubser.
Hans Guts. Gub.
No, honey, space there. This is Apple Hans is all one,
Okay.
and I said El. Apple Hans Gubser. I feel like I am in the Pink Panther. Steve Martin. Rough Martins. I am pretty sure I don't have Tourette's, but I might be masking very well. Woo. What do you got? Cold.
We're getting after it with the research, and well, I asked for it to write a good dialogue this time. Sometimes I ask it to write a dialogue, and it's bad dialogue.
Yeah.
And I don't know the difference, but I add some leading words, and then we get good dialogue or better dialogue.
Feels like, I guess it's
still one-sided.
Yeah, pretty one-sided.
This feels like lazy, one-sided.
And your phone agreed.
Dribble. It's okay. We'll let it finish its first draft. Sam is a pawn.
Do better. We expect multi-dimensions out of all of our characters.
Sam is an apparent NPC pawn.
You're absolutely right.
Sam was just feeding Jordan softball questions instead of being an equal participant in the conversation.
All right, let's do this. Maya and Kai seems a little bit more reasonable.
What's it called? All right, feels like a better one. A two-person dialogue. I'm glad you considered making it.
They wrote that the first time, and that's what I'm like.
There we go. Yeah, well, it likes to be a liar. It's a good liar.
I ain't calling you a truther. Shit. All right.
It's like all of us. It will try to get away with being lazy when it can. You know?
Not bad. Not bad. Cool.
So am I Maya or am I Kay or Kai?
I assume that was Kai, but you can choose whatever one you would like. Which one would you like?
I think I want to be Kai.
Okay, I will be
Maya?
Yeah. Did you catch the story about she's a nurse? Of course she's a bad bitch. Who swam to the Farallones? I don't know if that's right either, but Amy Gubser, I think. My cousin works at UCSF and said the whole hospital was talking about it. Oh, interesting.
Death. We got background into Maya, the character, who's also clearly in the healthcare system.
Like right off the bat.
Right, but it's good because you work in the healthcare system, so it's a natural fit. You can feel the emotions of your character.
I had to clarify I was not at UCSF, but
oh my god, that's such a nuance. But you're like, I've been in this hospital, and this hospital, and this hospital, in Philadelphia, Chicago, DC, Miami, but I haven't been to this hospital in San Francisco. Okay, cool, great. Thanks for the clarity.
I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't giving away any details. So.
Right, you're HIPAA compliant. This is a made-up fictional character.
Yes,
you are just portraying on screen for entertainment purposes only. Thank you. Like, subscribe, and follow for more on Playhaus
for
TV.
all the context.
Yeah.
LOL.
Anyways, I'm Kai. Oh yeah, the Shark Island swim. Clearly, Kai is a surfer. Clearly a surfer.
I'm dead. He came out so Kool-Aid Man though, and we are adjacent to Nebraska, so.
Yeah, well, he was in California when he recorded that. So
well done.
The Shark Island swim, I actually follow marathon swimming forums.
Oh,
That sounds pretty accurate. That route is considered nearly impossible. What's wild is she did it in the harder direction, mainland to islands. Most people who've attempted it went the other way, to be with the current instead against it.
Damn.
Which I'm ad-libbing and I'm making an assumption, but that would be what would make it harder
Right.
because I actually do know things about open water swimming. Because I spent time on internet forums, apparently, my character.
We're learning
Clearly.
so much within the first sentence. Thank you so much, Claude, for doing a better round this time.
Right?
Dude, what I found fascinating is that she's not even a young athlete. Well, that's a bit rude and relative, but she's 55 and works full time in fetal cardiology. Girl, no fucking way! That's so cool. Basically helping babies with heart problems before they're even born, and they're already emotionally intense work. Holy shit!
The mental fortitude required for both is probably related, though. I mean, think about it. Staying calm when a baby's life hangs in the balance versus staying calm when you're surrounded by sharks and freezing cold water. Different scenarios, same psychological
Wow,
skills.
Kai is like written for you. Is this is your language?
You don't
isn't
feel
it?
that way about Maya?
In some ways,
The cardiology piece
that's
is like so
wild.
specific.
Yeah, it is very, but yeah.
And her
No, but this is her life is her life.
I know,
no matter
but
what. It's wild
it's
to
being
have that.
overheard by the healthcare worker who
For
works
sure.
adjacent to her over at UCSF.
Did you see the little fun fact of most trauma survivors choose high intensity like sports as a good coping mechanism for themselves? It makes sense when you think about it, like the ability to push through in some of the most like grueling parts of like body ache and mental fortitude that you have to do to get there.
Yeah, because it's a fun competitive escape.
Yeah, it's a competitive escape, and it could
That's
be
what
labeled
makes
as
it fun.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's a sport you love, it makes it fun. Yeah, like I hate training for swimming. I love competing in swimming.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
For sure.
But you have to go through things you hate to do things you love sometimes. And that's why people who face trauma can do that.
Absolutely. Again, getting back to the mental fortitude.
Right.
That's so fucking wild. Anyway, that's exactly what she said. Basically, she credited her nursing experience for giving her the stamina. But here's what got me is she didn't swim for 24 years after college. She completely stopped.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Fucking swimming's the worst, like I just said. You need a lot of time to recover and come back to it.
Not a lot of time when you're doing 12s to 13s, 14s in those.
Yeah, there's that too, I feel like. Probably the grueling exhaustion of work plus the idea of doing your exercise that's grueling and exhausting in a way that most people don't realize it is.
For sure.
From the outside looking in.
One of the like hardest full body workouts. Not hardest, but like most intense.
Yeah, there's very few other ways to exercise or compete that work out your entire body, like every muscle of your body in a similar capacity.
Kickboxing is the other thing I can think of, or like any.
But not
like
even
jiu-jitsu.
because of you have a full body resistance constantly when you're in the water. The water is acting against all your muscles constantly as you move, and you don't really consider that.
And some way harder than others, which is wild to think about.
Right.
Taking the hardest path, being like, let's fucking go.
Yeah, I mean, you're moving through a medium that is inherently resisting you, but obviously not enough viscosity to prevent you from moving through it, and makes it a great exercise.
For sure.
And then having to hold your breath is the other half of that thing.
The intensity is for real.
Yeah. Especially when the water is shit water, like open water, like waves crashing over, and even worse, salt water getting in your mouth.
Really, truly. Nutty.
Okay, classic story actually. Life gets in the way, right? Career, probably kids. But something must have pulled her back. Yeah, it's the water. It's still nice at the end of the day. In the marathon swimming community, we see a lot of people return to the water later in life. Yeah, I was a lifeguard, and most of the people who come to do the morning swimming are basically 55 and older.
Yeah.
They're reclaiming something.
Sunrisers, you know.
Yeah, I've got so much
enjoy.
time in the morning. I'm sick of going for walks. Let me get back to it.
Her friend dared her to go from San Francisco Bay in February in 52 degrees and no wetsuit. She had a panic attack, but then felt every cell in her body come alive. And I get that feeling, though not in freezing water. We were in basically like, I think maybe 60-degree water in the Pacific, and it was so difficult to get your body to regulate your breathing properly with a wetsuit on, I mind you. And this was, if we didn't do the first dive, like, I don't think we would have been okay regulating my breath in like where the shark was coming in.
Oh yeah, I could understand.
It's just like so wild to get used to, and I can't even imagine it being.
It was one among the Pacific was amongst the coldest I've been in. Like,
for sure.
Like,
we've been to plenty of Great Lakes of Michigan.
Yeah, I was gonna say competition swimming pools are generally held at like I believe 70 or maybe 68 degrees.
Okay.
And that's pretty cold, but on your body when you feel it, because most people like to keep their pools heated to 78, 84, somewhere around there. Some people go warmer.
Like bath water.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay. I guess it depends on what the outside temperature is.
Right. I mean, I'm from Michigan where like it's 80 degrees and it's got a breeze, so it's cold outside of the water. So that's why people like there's a little bit warmer around there. But imagine, in Florida, you're trying to keep it closer to 72, I bet. 74. And then, we were in Greece. They just like, it's water that sits out. And
no, they turned off the heater for the time because it was getting really hot during the day, which totally understand.
Sure, but I was gonna say lots of people do like solar heating for pools, and that's
which
normal.
Makes a lot of sense. I would love to get back into.
All you have to do is make the pool dark bottom, and you're good to go.
That's interesting. What about?
It's not like the only thing, but it's like one of the easiest things you can do to basically can make a creative environment to make it heat itself.
What about
black
CDs?
Tiles specifically?
Like the reflective CDs, and I've seen the copper wire strung around them. Do you think that at the base of the pool would? I know it's acting differently, but like.
I mean, like if we sealed it in epoxy resin, maybe like. Exactly. But even then, no, because I don't like the idea of chlorine or bromine or saline interacting with the resin over time. So I think in an ideal world, we get black tile ceramic.
But do we want to do? We don't want to do a black. Anyway, we don't need to have this discussion now. But like, it's so hot here in KC during the summer months that we would be using the pool. I don't think we need to
go black to have it warm it up.
Yeah.
It gets kind of chilly during the night. So it might actually do well being, black tile pool, but I don't know.
What if we do that for the hot tub?
Sure.
Does that make sense for that?
Yeah. I would still go for a darker color tile so that we can get some of the geothermal heating benefits.
Right. For the other one?
No, for the pool.
Right, for the pool is what I meant by the other one. Sure, we should do it only on the deeper part, right?
I mean,
yeah, that would make the most sense.
We'll talk through it.
Anyway, holy shit.
I don't know about you, you'll decide it. But we'll talk more about it because don't know why we wouldn't do it. Just because 2 weeks it would be probably hotter than normal. We'd have to cool it off more for 2 weeks versus all the rest of the time where it's going to be perfect because it's that.
Maybe. We'll consider because we want to do it year round. Anyway, not for now.
Right. Even more reason if we're going to do it year round to make it black.
Yeah, potentially. Okay. You want to tell me more about Amy, Kai?
Yeah, bay swimming is addictive once you start. The Dolphin Club and South End Rowing Club are legendary for creating these crazy cold water addicts. But jumping from bay swimming to the Fariones is like going from hiking to free climbing El Capitan.
Do you think they actually swim with real dolphins, or is it just the dolphin club? Is it just the
I
name?
think that's the name of it.
I want it to be the other way though.
I hear you.
What really struck with me was that she connected it to her patients. She kept thinking about the 6-year-old girl that she'd cared for, who wanted to put her toes in the salt water to see a mermaid tail, to see the mermaid tail with Sprout. That's so funny. The image carried her through 17 hours of hell.
I mean, better than what I used to do, which is imagine there was a piranha behind me while I was swimming.
Yeah, I get that way with a shark, but yeah.
No, I mean, I was imagining the piranha as the motivating factor for why I would keep swimming forward or harder.
No, I know. I was scared of sharks for a very hot minute, especially in a pool, which is such an irrational fear, but so real.
So you used it to make yourself a faster swimmer?
Yeah. Okay. Or just sometimes you would just have that panic and be like, okay, I gotta get out of the water right now.
Yeah, that's not what I was talking about.
I mean, again, it was dependent on the capacity that I needed it.
Sounds like one showed up and was an anxiety response.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one's a conscious decision. It's like they're not the same.
I was not comfortable in the water for a long time for a pretty solid reason. I guess I didn't realize it was 2 and 2 though.
Yeah, because mine had nothing about being uncomfortable in the water. It was being sick of practice and needing some way to motivate myself to keep going. Which is what she was talking about, here.
For sure.
Personal motivation to keep going.
Her motivation is a positive, but also all of the trauma that she sees. And anyway, we're making this so much more about ourselves.
No, I was just talking about her imagination and the mermaid tail that she sprouted.
The 6-year-old, I know. God bless the child's mind is so cool to think about the way that they think of things sometimes.
Right. Well, this is an adult and going back to that moment because that's what kept her going through the 17 hours of hell. And I was like, oh, I could see that. Except I'd probably be going back to, oh my God, there's promise behind me.
Positive versus negative.
Yeah.
However you want to see it.
Right. I led with that when I brought it up the first time. I said, this is a negative reflection. But you were checked out on your phone.
I was responding to
whatever you wanted to.
No, the parallel of what's going on right now. So taking care of business. Thank you for understanding that there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Ready to wrap up conversation. I can't remember.
You asked me to keep going, and then you checked out.
Well, I pulled it up because it's your turn to talk. Because I had just talked about the 17
That's beautiful, but also strategic. Elite endurance athletes always have mental anchors. For her, it wasn't personal glory, it was this kid's dream. It's probably more sustainable motivation than ego when you're hour 14 and everything hurts.
Yeah, I wonder about the timing though. 5 years of planning, multiple cancellations due to weather, shoulder injuries, COVID. Then she decides with just 2 days' notice. Damn, what a baddie.
Yeah.
She just wanted to do it.
Yeah,
she's just like, I gotta do it.
After all of that.
For sure.
Weather windows are everything in marathon swimming. This is like going to surf those 100-foot waves.
Oh my gosh.
You have to be there in 72 hours or something.
Crazy.
The Farallones are notoriously unpredictable. Wind, currents, marine life activity. You might get one perfect window per year, maybe none. When the conditions align, you go ready or not. Again, it sounds like the big surf.
Yeah, for sure. She literally worked on a hospital shift, normal work day, life or death situation, staying alert for 12 hours straight, managing complex medical equipment.
You jumped ahead.
She literally worked the hospital shift, took a 4-hour nap, and then swam the 30 miles. Oh my God, that sounds like Olivia. Jesus. Rest in peace. to that baddie in just all of the sleep that she can finally get because she's also doing her doctorate in nurse practitioner. What a bad bitch. Goddamn. That's either inspiring or insane, and it's both. You have to live on the edge,
What?
though.
You're reading mine and you skipped over your own line.
I just read
You
the rest
did not
of mine.
read.
I did. Then swam 30 miles in shark-infested water, and that's when I like went
then
to
you
Olivia.
Start,
and then
no, you went into Olivia
Why are we
after
yelling about
4-hour
this?
nap because
I wrapped up.
you didn't. You skipped and went to my lines.
Let me say this again. She literally worked at a hospital shift, took a 4-hour nap, and then swam the 30 miles in shark-infested water. I can't believe this fucking bad bitch. That's either insane or inspiring, and I said it's both. Again.
Probably both. But think about her normal workday. Life or death decisions, staying alert for 12 hours straight, managing complex medical equipment. Marathon swimming might actually be less stressful than her day job.
That's pretty reductive because it's insanity in a bunch of different ways. The shark thing, though, how do you just accept that risk? Great whites literally breed around those islands. Yeah, they do. But that's not your only issue.
I don't think it was reductive at all. I think it's fair to say that marathon swimming is less hard than her actual job.
Unless you've lived that life, like dirty jobs, I really don't think that you have the capacity.
Are you not
to
understanding
say that.
what we're saying?
No,
because I'm saying that the dirty job is harder than the swimming. Swimming is not as hard as doing the dirty job. That is what it says, and that is what I then said again differently.
She is fucking
her job is harder than the swim she did.
Yes.
That is what it says. That is what I said.
Glad we clarified that.
Okay. Me too. It's like we're not even in the same conversation.
I already went.
Okay. So you said the shark thing, though? Okay, I didn't hear it. Interestingly, shark attacks on marathon swimmers are extremely rare. We're not their preferred prey, and we usually have boat support. But the psychological game is real. She said sharks were in the back of her mind the entire time.
Again, I feel the same way, but it was just in a pool. What I love is her message afterward is the average people can do extraordinary things. That's normal people. Shout out to Cass and Lex. I hope they're having an amazing trip. She's trying to inspire others to push beyond what they think is possible.
And she's walking the walk. At 55, as a grandmother, she's literally looking into record books in sport dominated by younger athletes. Proving experience and mental toughness can trump pure physical ability.
Plus, she's already eyeing her next challenge, more cold water swims. Loch Ness is on her list. God bless. Oh my God. Stay tuned. That would be so cool.
Once you catch the marathon swimming bug, it never really goes away. Though after all, the Fariones, everything else probably feels manageable. Well, except maybe the English Channel in winter.
Ew, oh my God, I can't even imagine. There's so much. Their documentaries on the drugs alone, crazy. What strikes me most is how her two words, nursing and swimming, world nursing and swimming, aren't even separate. They feel like they're a part of each other. Taking care of herself through swimming makes her a better caregiver, which I think you all have to have some sort of outlet.
That's the difference between a true athlete and someone just chasing thrills. For her, this isn't an escape from responsibility, it's preparation for it. She's literally training for her mind and body to handle whatever life throws at her patients.
Amy Applehans Gubser, proving that sometimes the most extraordinary achievements come from the extraordinary people hiding in plain sight who refuse to accept ordinary limits. God bless. With that, oh my God, I feel like we're getting cold in every single different direction, but love to see a new heart. Cheers. Welcome to the crew. I hope you enjoy the show. This has been an interesting show back. Welcome. We're not going anywhere. It just may take a minute or two.
Like, subscribe, and follow for more. It's been another episode of Weekly Mojo here on Playhouse TV.
Cheers. Hope you guys have an excellent rest of your week. Holy shit. Enjoy the summer sun or the clouds.